Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno said that negotiations with the U.S. have hit a wall. He said U.S. negotiators have taken an aggressive posture with no breakthrough towards ending sanctions against the Caribbean island.
Talks between Cuba and the United States show no progress. The conduct of the U.S. government delegation, which is generally respectful during these talks, is accompanied by constant aggressive statements against Cuba, threats of military aggression, and the imposition of coercive measures and additional blockades.
The U.S. has imposed a total trade embargo on Cuba since the 1960s due to its communist government. Under President Trump, the U.S. has further increased pressure, suggesting regime change and even threatening tariffs on countries supplying oil to Cuba. Cuba's energy grid remains heavily reliant on imported fossil fuels, and since January, only one Russian oil tanker has reached the island amid ongoing sanctions pressure. In March this year, reports suggested that Donald Trump mused about possible military action against Cuba, similar to actions taken in Venezuela. This prompted Cuba to reach out to the U.S. administration. Some reports also claimed Trump sought the resignation of Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel, which the Cuban government has publicly denied, rejecting any U.S. intervention.
The recently announced transformations are a matter of total and absolute sovereignty. We have neither listened to nor are we interested in the opinion of the U.S. government on this matter. It is striking that the State Department's initial reaction has been extraordinarily radical and intolerant regarding decisions it is not fully aware of.
Both Donald Trump and Marco Rubio, who are known for his hawkish stance on Cuba, have continued to increase pressure on the island. In early June, the U.S. imposed sanctions on President Miguel Diaz-Canel, his family members and relatives of former leader Raul Castro, including members of the Castro family. The U.S. also issued an arrest warrant last month against him, accusing him of involvement in the 1996 downing of two activist planes that killed 3 U.S. citizens and 1 resident. They also levied sanctions against Union Cuba Petroleo, Cuba's state-owned oil and gas company. This has triggered a major energy crisis in Cuba, which depends heavily on foreign fuel supplies. Cuba's foreign minister said the blockade has created a humanitarian crisis, describing it as a threat to the country's existence.
Cuba is not a threat. The blockade is. The blockade and the policy of aggression and hostility of the United States government against Cuba are a threat to the existence and well-being of the Cuban people and to the exercise of their human rights.
Now, as talks for lifting the embargo have stalled, Cuba is experiencing power outages lasting up to 40 hours at a stretch. Naturally, it has disrupted public transport and even hospital services.